Elizabeth Cady Stanton. Elizabeth Cady Stanton, born on the 12th of November 1815, was an American writer and activist who was a leader of the women's rights movement in the US during the mid to late 19th century. She was also active in other social reform activities, especially abolitionism. Elizabeth Cady Stanton was born in Johnstown, New York. The exposure of law studies ignited a fire within Elizabeth to remedy laws unjust to women. She was the main force behind the 1848 Seneca Falls Convention, the first convention to be called for the sole purpose of discussing women's rights, and was the primary author of its Declaration of Sentiments. In 1851, she met Susan B. Anthony and formed a decades-long partnership that was crucial to the development of the women's rights movement. During the American Civil War, they established the Women's Loyal National League to campaign for the abolition of slavery. They started a newspaper called The Revolution in 1868 to work for women's rights. When the 15th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution was introduced that would provide suffrage for black men only, they opposed it, insisting that suffrage should be extended to all African Americans and all women at the same time. Stanton became the president of the National Women's Suffrage Association. Later, Stanton became the first president of the United Organization, the National American Women's Suffrage Association. This was largely an honorary position. Stanton continued to work on a wide range of women's rights issues despite the organization's increasingly tight focus on women's right to vote. In her later years, Stanton became interested in efforts to create cooperative communities and workplaces. Stanton continued to write articles prolifically for a variety of publications right up until she died. Stanton was the primary author of the first 3 volumes of the History of Women's Suffrage. She was also the primary author of The Woman's Bible, a critical examination of the Bible that is based on the premise that its attitude toward women reflects prejudice from a less liberalized age. Stanton died in New York City on October 26, 1902, 18 years before women achieved the right to vote in the United States via the 19th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. In 2020, the Women's Rights Pioneers Monument was unveiled in Central Park in New York City on the 100th anniversary of the passage of the 19th Amendment giving women the right to vote. Stanton was also depicted in it. Thanks for watching.